Step into the darkness where reality blurs and nightmares come alive. I had always been fascinated by the unexplained, drawn to the mysteries that lurked in the shadows just beyond our comprehension. So when reports started trickling in about sightings of a winged humanoid creature haunting the outskirts of our small town, I knew I had to investigate. They called it the Mothman, a creature of legend said to appear before disasters struck, its glowing red eyes a harbinger of doom. Most dismissed it as nothing more than superstition, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to these sightings, something that defied rational explanation. As a journalist for the local newspaper, it was my duty to uncover the truth, to shine a light on the darkness that lurked in the hearts of men. And so, armed with nothing but my notepad and camera, I set out to unravel the mystery of the Mothman. My journey began with interviews, hundreds of them, with witnesses who claimed to have seen the creature with their own eyes. Their stories were as varied as they were chilling, each one painting a picture of a creature that seemed to defy the laws of nature. Some described it as a towering figure with wings stretched wide, its eyes glowing like hot coals in the darkness. Others spoke of a smaller, more humanoid form, flitting in and out of the shadows like a ghost in the night. But despite the differences in their accounts, there was one thing that remained consistent, the overwhelming sense of fear and dread that accompanied each sighting. It was as if the Mothman's very presence radiated an aura of malevolence, filling those who beheld it with a primal sense of terror. As I delved deeper into the mystery, I began to uncover a pattern of tragedy and disaster that seemed to follow in the Mothman's wake. Plane crashes, bridge collapses, car accidents, all linked in some way to sightings of the winged creature. At first, I dismissed it as mere coincidence, a figment of overactive imaginations and superstition run amok. But the more I dug, the more I began to realize that there was something darker at play, something that defied logic and reason. I soon found myself consumed by my investigation, my days spent poring over old newspaper clippings and police reports, searching for any clue that might shed light on the Mothman's true nature. But the deeper I dug, the more elusive the answers became, slipping through my fingers like grains of sand. And then, one fateful night, I saw it, the Mothman, in all its terrifying glory. I had been out in the woods, following up on a lead when I heard the sound of wings beating against the air, a low, haunting hum that sent shivers down my spine. I turned just in time to see it, a dark shape silhouetted against the moonlit sky, its eyes glowing like twin orbs of fire. For a moment, I was frozen in place, unable to tear my gaze away from the creature that hovered before me like a specter from another world. But then, with a sudden rush of adrenaline, I raised my camera and snapped a picture, the first concrete proof of the Mothman's existence. It was a moment of triumph, a validation of everything I had worked for. But it was also a moment of reckoning, a realization that the truth I sought came with a price. For as I turned to flee, I felt the weight of the Mothman's gaze upon me, a silent warning that my curiosity had brought me closer to the edge of darkness than I ever dared to imagine. In the days that followed, I became consumed by fear, haunted by nightmares of the Mothman's red eyes staring at me from the shadows. I knew then that I had stumbled upon something far more dangerous than I had ever anticipated, something that threatened not just my life, but the lives of everyone around me. And as I sit here now, penning these words in the dim light of my study, I can't shake the feeling that the Mothman is still out there, watching, waiting, biding its time until it strikes again. For in the end, some mysteries are best left unsolved, some shadows best left unexplored. And the Mothman, with its wings of darkness and eyes of fire, is one mystery that I fear will never be laid to rest.